I'm going to do another caller here. Kevin Perez is going to come on and join us now. What are you saying, Kev?
Hey, how's it going?
All good, my friend. All good. I see everyone out in their Arsenal merch. They make so much money, Arsenal, from this
We're
merch.
massive, Tel. We're massive.
What do you want to say, brother?
So, I'm actually I wanted to actually call Lee out on kind of that flip-floppy behavior. I when you see the expectation of where the team was supposed to be, and when we were going through all the negative things that we were going through, there was still the foundation of the team. You could see the play style, where we were headed, and you could see with the transfers that we were making, how they were working, that Arteta knew what he was doing. When things wouldn't go our way and we would lose due to a ref decision or something not going our way, you would still be harsh on him, and you wouldn't. And now that we're doing better, now that we're doing great, instead of just admitting that you were wrong and giving him his flowers, you will find ways to kind of weasel out and say how you weren't wrong in the first place.
Well, you're trying to rewrite history, number one, because at the time of all of this happening, I was spot on. Because for eighth and fifth ain't good enough. Yeah, and you just said that where Arsenal was supposed to be. Arsenal were never supposed to be eighth, and fifth. Arsenal Football Club, I think you're in America, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, absolutely massive in America, absolutely massive all over the globe. Yeah, and then the way I think a lot of fans shoehorn us into this plucky losers, we're not supposed to be in there, we're not supposed to be doing this. Arsenal have got one of the biggest incomes. We've got one of the biggest sponsorship deals with the shirt you're wearing with Adidas on it. Yeah, we're a massive football club. And when Arsenal were losing games, and you just said about refereeing decisions, mate, you don't lose or win a football match based on a referee decision. Yeah, it's based on 90 minutes of football. Yeah, and if you need a refereeing decision to win your football match, then you're in big trouble as a football club. And at the end of the day, 16 years ago, we moved into the Emirates Stadium. It weren't to finish 8th and 5th. So everything I was saying at the time was spot on. Yeah, and at the start of this season, like I said a minute ago, not a single Arsenal fan or football fan thought we'd win the title. And now we're in the mix. And so far, we're in the mix. And I've shut up about Arteta this season. Because now he's doing, and the club are doing, and the players are doing what we're supposed to be doing. When we signed Odegaard, I rightly so called him out. And now this season, he's had the best season he's ever had in football. Like Ben White, rightly so called him out. Last season, he was shambolic at centre-back. This season, I've said he's been the best right-back in the league. Bukayo Saka, shoot more, be more composed in front of goal. Now he's the best right winger in the world for me right now. So it's like people want to take the negative out of it, but they miss all the positive stuff I say because it suits the narrative.
Can I ask a question, Kevin? Is it so? Again, I wind Lee up a lot, but Lee, my job. But Lee's saying that Ben White's brilliant. Is it more the fact that he hasn't said I was wrong about something and then praises? Is it almost like some Arsenal fans want that bit in the middle where I said Arteta wouldn't be good enough, I was wrong about that, he's been really good, instead of what Lee does, which is just Arteta was crap and I wanted him out, he's doing really well now, I'm happy with him. Is there a middle ground that you feel is missing that should be there?
So that's partly it, and it's partly just due to the fact that I feel like you could always see the process unfolding. Yes, sure, 8th and 5th isn't fit for Arsenal, but when you put the context of where we were, where Emery left us, where we were in 10th, we had Mustafi in the back line and Kolasinac.
Can I just stop you there? Sorry to cut you off. We weren't in 10th when Emery left. We were actually in 8th. Sorry, I'm lying. We were joint 6th, and we were 8 points off a top 4 with 25 games to go. There's this myth going around that Emery left us in a relegation battle. We didn't. We were 8 points off a top 4 with 25 games to go, sat in 6th.
Okay.
Yeah, you're saying about the process, and it was clear where Arsenal were going to go. But then you've just said and agreed with us that not a single Arsenal fan thought we were going to win the league this season. So there was no evidence to suggest the process was going forward.
But there was, because again, it's when we were getting rid of the deadwood and getting rid of the players that weren't keeping up with the standards of the club, players that were causing drama, players that weren't giving their all on the pitch. I'd rather see a pitch full of players that are giving 100% than a whole bunch of mercenaries that might get you an FA Cup and that's a trophy. This is the sustained success. We had to get 8th and 5th in order to be in the position we are and sustain it. We're not going to have just one season of success and then fall back into where we were because of the process and because of what Arteta has done. Now we have a system that can sustain us for the next half decade to a decade because we have a youthful core and now we're building depth.
No, I agree to one degree, but at the same time, there's a reason no youth project or process or whatever you want to call it has ever won a Premier League title. Yeah, because it's not sustainable and it never has been sustainable, because normally the youth fall away towards the end of a season. We did, and this is not common knowledge to a lot of people. When we played Manchester United in the Champions League semi-final in 2009, I think it was, that squad that we had that season was younger than the squad we got now. And we got to a Champions League semi-final. So when you're saying that, we've got a good core of young players and it was always going to go forward, etc., etc. Yeah, cool. We got rid of the dead wood. So basically what you're saying is a football club is doing what it should do.
Yeah. That's what
There
I'm
you go
saying.
then.
Yeah,
You're
but
agreeing
that's
with me.
you weren't giving him his credit for that. And
Why should I give him credit for doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Well, because we didn't have managers that were doing what they were supposed to be doing. Emery wasn't doing that. Wenger, towards the end of his tenure, wasn't doing that. And so when you have a young manager that's coming in and instilling the art values of Arsenal, you see that there is something that is going to be built. For me, it always felt inevitable. Of course, there's no way to show that. There's no way you can actually say anything is inevitable. But seeing how he was changing the mentality of the club, how he was bringing in youth players that were good. He wasn't just shoehorning players in. And the play on the field was the biggest one for me. There were games with Emery against Liverpool where we looked like we were a championship team. With Arteta, we always kind of we look like an elite level team.
There was also games with Emery where we scored one of the best goals I've seen Arsenal ever score against Leicester. Ozil running back flick on the halfway line. Yeah, Martin Tyler's commentary, Arsenal's hard running style, Aubameyang, Ozil skips over the ball, it goes back in and Ozil skips it up and Aubameyang scores. Everyone likes to forget that. Emery also got us to a Europa League final. Cool, we got battered. Yeah, but we still smashed up Valencia 7 over 2 legs. And this whole Emery, it was Emery's fault. Arteta's inherited a mess. No, this is a lot of issues. When people want to sit there and rewrite history, I find it funny. Like, we signed Pablo Mari. Yeah, we signed Cedric Suarez. We signed Willian. Like, we signed Runnison. Let's not pretend everything Arteta's done has been great, because it hasn't. And the fact that we're doing well this season, cool, fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. But I do also think that William Saliba has been a massive part of that. And again, his decision to loan him out for 3 years straight, yeah, he could have had him in last season and we could have got top 4 last season, which might have kicked us on. Yeah, and we might have been able to compete on the FA Cup and the League Cup this season instead of throwing them in the bin. So, listen, it's great that we're top of the league. But at the end of the day, Arsenal Football Club are finally doing what they're supposed to be doing. Why should they get credit for doing what they smashed the stadium down for and have failed to do for the last 16 years? They'll get credit on the pitch. Fantastic. But I'm not going to go and sit and pat Edu on the back and Kroenke on that. This is what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Listen, Kevin, I want to say a massive thank you for coming on and challenging, mate. A lot of credit to you, because people don't do it and you did it respectfully. You come with some good points. You got some really great points as well. Top man, Kevin. Thank you very much indeed. I want to add one more caller in, but I don't think he's actually going to say anything personally, because his username is Hately Gunner. Let's see if he actually has the balls to come on and say anything.
Get ready to clip it, people.
He's got a swearing emoji, but are you going to say anything, my friend?
Come and show your face, man.
Come on, my bro. What are you going to say? Hey, he bottled it. He bottled it. See,
he bottled it. Like, come on.
Every time. No bottle. Honestly. He pulled out.
Mate, he needs to get a lampshade for that.
There we go.
He needs to get a lampshade for that light, though, man, because that's dangerous, bro.
That's what it is, bro. You're living a nice life in Spain. He doesn't have a lampshade. That's why he's angry. Do you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
When I'm saying that, I've got 4 lights up here with no lampshades. I've done that. The only reason I've done that is so I get more light on my green screen.
Just buy a ring light, bro. You got loads of money.
Well, no, I've got a light here, a light there, and a light there. But then I have these ones on that are ultra super bright as well. Just so it's,
I'm only joking.
So the top of the green screen gets more light on it.